The abandoned dragon. The jagged ridge cut across the alien landscape like an ancient scar, its dark stone walls disappearing into storm-filled clouds. Wind howled through the canyon, carrying with it the bitter cold of a world that showed no mercy to the weak. On the cliff's edge sat a small figure, a dragon, but not like the mighty beasts that soared through the stormy skies above. This one was tiny, barely the size of a large dog, with bronze scales that caught what little light filtered through the clouds. A single tear traced down its scaled cheek as it watched its larger kin disappear into the distance, leaving it behind once again. The sound of footsteps on stone made the young dragon's head snap up. Through the swirling mist came a figure, an elderly human woman, her silver hair whipping in the wind. She moved carefully, leaning on a staff embedded with gleaming circuits. Her clothes were a patchwork of fabric and metal, telling the story of someone who made do with what they had. "Poor little thing," she murmured, her voice carrying surprising warmth. "Let me guess, they left you behind because you're different." The dragon tried to growl, but it came out as more of a whimper. It pressed itself against the stone, golden eyes wide with fear and loneliness. The woman sat down slowly, ignoring the cold seeping through her clothes. "I know exactly how that feels. I'm Elira, by the way. Used to be an engineer before my own kind decided I was too much trouble." She extended her hand, palm up. "What do you say we be outcasts together?" For a long moment, the dragon just stared. Then, slowly, it crept forward and touched her palm with its snout, a gesture of desperate hope. "There we go," Elira smiled. "I think I'll call you Taran. And don't worry, little one, our story is just beginning." Escape from the canyon. Weeks passed in Elira's makeshift home, a converted cargo hauler wedged between two massive rocks. The cramped space had become a sanctuary where Taran learned to trust again. Each day, Elira built him small gadgets to play with, encouraging his natural curiosity and watching his confidence slowly grow. "Look at you go," she cheered as Taran finally caught the hovering sphere she'd made for him. His small wings were getting stronger, and his movements more precise. But more importantly, the fear was leaving his eyes. Their peaceful routine shattered one morning when a deep rumble echoed through the canyon. Elira rushed outside to see a massive ship descending, sleek, black, and bearing the insignia of the consortium. "Damn corporate vultures," she muttered, her blood running cold. "They must have tracked my old engineering codes." She ran back inside, frantically throwing supplies into bags. "Taran. We're leaving. Now." The dragon sensed her panic and leaped to her shoulder, his small body trembling. Outside, the sound of drones filled the air, hunting drones, designed to capture anything valuable. They ran through the winding canyon paths, Elira's knowledge of the terrain their only advantage. Taran took to the air, his bronze form darting between rock formations too narrow for the larger drones to follow. "This way," Elira called, leading them toward her hidden escape ship. It was old and battered, but it was their only chance. As they reached the vessel, a drone appeared in the doorway, its weapons charging. Without hesitation, Taran roared, a sound far fiercer than his small size suggested, and launched himself at the machine. His claws tore through metal and circuits as sparks flew everywhere. "Taran, get in!" Elira shouted, firing up the engines. The dragon leaped inside just as the hatch sealed, and they shot into the sky, leaving the consortium behind. As the planet shrunk below them, Elira slumped in her seat, exhausted. Taran curled up beside her, providing warmth and comfort. "We made it, little one," she whispered. "But something tells me this is just the beginning of our troubles." The Derelict station. Their fuel was running dangerously low when they spotted the abandoned station orbiting a dead moon. It looked like a graveyard of metal and broken dreams, exactly the kind of place desperate people ended up. "Stay close," Elira warned as they docked. The station's corridors were dark and silent, filled with the metallic tang of recycled air that had seen better days. They hadn't gone far when Elira's foot caught on something. Looking down, she froze. A body lay slumped against the wall, its consortium uniform barely visible beneath a cracked helmet. Someone really didn't want visitors, she muttered, examining the precise, surgical wounds. This wasn't random violence, this was methodical. Taran growled softly, his instincts telling him something was wrong. His tail flicked nervously as they moved deeper into the station. The control room was a disaster zone of shattered screens and exposed wiring. But Elira's engineers saw possibilities in the chaos. She pulled out her tools and began working, her fingers dancing over circuits and components. Most people would think this place is hopeless, she said, glancing at Taran. Good thing we're not most people. As the station hummed back to life, emergency lighting flickered on throughout the corridors. But their moment of triumph was short-lived. A deep, resonant sound filled the air, something between a mechanical hum and an organic growl. Taran's head snapped up, his pupils narrowing to slits. He'd never made that particular sound before, but Elira recognized it immediately, pure, primal fear. From the shadows emerged something that defied easy description, part machine, part something else entirely. Its spindly legs clicked against the metal floor as it approached, and multiple red sensors swept the room like searching eyes. Automated defense system, Elira breathed. But who programmed it to be so, alive? The creature's attention fixed on them, and Elira realized with growing horror that their arrival had awakened something that had been sleeping in the station's depths. Something that had been waiting for prey. Ancient secrets revealed. The mechanical creature stalked toward them with predatory grace, but Taran surprised everyone, including himself. Instead of cowering, he stepped forward, spreading his small wings and letting out a challenging roar. The creature paused, its sensors flickering in what almost looked like confusion. That's impossible, Elira whispered. It's recognizing him. She grabbed her scanner and ran it over the creature. The readings made her gasp. Taran, this isn't just a defense system. It's partly organic, and the biological components are dragon DNA. The pieces began falling into place as they explored deeper into the station. Hidden chambers revealed laboratories filled with genetic research, star charts marking dragon nesting worlds, and most shocking of all, evidence that the dragons and these mechanical beings had once worked together. Your people didn't abandon you because you were weak, Elira realized, her voice filled with wonder. They abandoned you because you're different. You're a bridge between two species. Ancient holograms showed the truth. Long ago, dragons and the mechanical beings called synthetics had been partners, exploring the galaxy together. But fear and misunderstanding had driven them apart, leaving both species incomplete. Taran approached one of the dormant synthetics, and to Elira's amazement, it responded to his presence. Not with aggression, but with something like recognition. The young dragon had inherited more than just bronze scales, he carried the genetic memory of an ancient alliance. The consortium doesn't know what they're really hunting, Elira said, studying the data. They think you're just a dragon. They have no idea you're the key to reuniting two civilizations. But their discovery had activated more than just historical records. Deep in the station's core, ancient systems were coming online. And somewhere in the darkness, they could hear the sound of many mechanical voices awakening after centuries of sleep. The station shuddered as massive forms began moving in the lower levels. Taran's unique presence had awakened an entire colony of synthetics, and they were rising to meet the descendant of their ancient partners. The final stand. The awakened synthetics surrounded them, but instead of attacking, they seemed to be waiting. Taran stepped forward, his small form dwarfed by the towering mechanical beings. When he chirped softly, they responded with harmonious tones that filled the chamber. They're communicating, Elira breathed. After all these centuries, they're actually talking to each other. But their reunion was interrupted by the arrival of consortium ships. The corporate forces had tracked them down, bringing with them massive harvesting equipment designed to capture and dissect anything valuable. Surrender the dragon and the station's technology, came the broadcast. You have 1 hour to comply. Elira looked at Taran, then at the synthetics who had become so much more than machines. What do you say, little one? Ready to show them what teamwork really looks like. The battle that followed was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Taran soared through the void on wings that had grown strong through adversity, while the synthetics moved with mechanical precision. But it was their combination, organic intuition merged with synthetic efficiency, that made them unstoppable. The consortium's weapons were designed to fight dragons or machines, not both working in perfect harmony. Ship after ship fell as the ancient alliance was reborn in the heat of battle. When the last consortium vessel retreated, Taran landed on Elira's shoulder, exhausted but triumphant. Around them, the synthetics hummed with satisfaction, a sound that somehow conveyed both gratitude and welcome. So what now? Elira asked, scratching behind Taran's ear fin. You've got your own people again. A whole civilization that needs rebuilding. Taran looked at her with those golden eyes that had once been filled with loneliness. He chirped once, softly, and nuzzled her cheek. Some bonds, his gesture seemed to say, transcend species. As their combined fleet prepared to explore the galaxy, spreading the message of cooperation and understanding, Elira realized that sometimes the smallest among us carry the greatest destinies. Taran had been abandoned for being different, but that difference had saved 2 civilizations and forged a new future among the stars. The universe was vast and full of wonders, and they would face them together, dragon, human, and synthetic, proving that family isn't about what you are, but about who stands by you when the winds of change blow strongest. The end.